The hard truth is sometimes you don't even know that you have blocks.
Curious what business owners are doing to double revenue, have more cash flow, work less hours, and provide a better lifestyle for their family? Dive into the world of business growth that leads to guaranteed wealth every Tuesday with your hosts, Dr. Laura Schwalek and Jerry Kazaya. Grow and get answers to your business and investment questions that provide clarity, move you forward, and inspire you to reach your goals. Welcome to this episode of the Business Builders Intensive. I'm Dr. Laura Schwalek, and this is my co-host,
Jerry Kazaya.
Excellent. Okay, so today we're going to talk about what's blocking you. What's blocking you?
What do you mean? Like Legos?
No, I'm not talking about Lego blocks, but that would be so much easier, wouldn't it?
Lincoln Logs?
Yeah. Okay, so I don't even know what a Lincoln Log is. That must have been before my time, before I was even born. Okay.
Well, that's possible.
Here's the thing. There are times in our career when we feel like we're struggling. We feel like things are just not going the way we had envisioned.
Or you're so close.
Right.
You're so freaking close to having that success that you've been busting your hump for.
That big breakthrough.
And you can almost see it, but you just can't get
You can feel it. It's just like
It's-
right around the corner.
Man, you're missing a toothpick of something, right? And you don't know what the hell it is. Well, the truth of it is, you're probably blocked. What does that mean, blocked?
And we're not talking about constipation either.
Thanks, Doc. No, the truth of it is, we break it down into three different types of blocks. First, you can have a physical block, you can have a mental block, or you can have a subconscious block. The good news is, with our clients, we have the tools, we have the knowledge, we have the expertise to help you identify those blocks and then to help you remove them.
Okay, so let's look at different examples, like what some concrete examples of, okay, what's a physical block that one of our clients had that we were able to help them overcome?
So the first one that comes into mind is we had an insurance agent who was struggling to maintain $30,000 a month in premiums. Huge hurdle for him. And so I said, what I'd like you to do is write down your entire process for him. He goes, oh man, that's going to be hard to do. Okay, great. I still want you to do it. He wrote it down, brought it in, we talked about it. And I said, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to go back. I want you to make sure that this is exactly the process that you use. So when I go to your office next week, I'm going to go there. And he was local to me, right? And it's something we could do via Zoom or any other methodology. But I could grab this instruction sheet and I could create the proposals. He went, great. Went back, took another week, got it all done. We made the appointment. I showed up in his office and we started working. And I actually said out loud, what the hell is this humongous waste of time? And the bottom line is we helped him streamline his process. We created a simple process that increased his output 10x. He now maintains a $300,000 monthly premium as opposed to $30,000. It was a very simple physical block of redundancy and being ill set up. Okay. I happen to be an efficiency expert, and we went in there and straightened up, and this guy he's doing amazing things now. The next block is a mental block. And a mental block, we had, again, one of our clients that comes to mind.
It's kind of like when you think you can't, or whether you think you can, you're right. And often we think that we can't, and we don't even realize that we're saying that to ourselves.
He was just until it came down to actually put it into practice, and then he put the brakes on. So we were having a meeting, and it was one of our mastermind meetings, and we were chatting with him, and I was running numbers, and I said, okay, what does it cost you to add a new team member? $45,000, $50,000 a year. I said, okay, great. I understand. And at the time he was doing somewhere in the neighborhood of $600,000 a year. And so I said, okay, $45,000, $50,000 a year. What can they earn for the company? And he says, if they're really good, they're on point, they'll do at least 200 to maybe 250 a year. I said, okay, so you're talking about spending 45 or 50 to get 200 or 250. He said, yes. I said, okay, great, great. Now let's just run numbers. And how long do you think? I said, you've been in this game for how many years? He told me how many years he'd been in business. I said, then you've been hiring and firing for, yes, I'm very good at it. Okay, excellent. And how long do you think it would take you to realize whether or not this new hire that you're hiring for $50,000 a year would be a proper fit for your company? He goes, oh, 2 weeks at the most. I said, okay, great. So basically you're talking about, and I want to be clear on this, do they start off with 50 grand a year? No, they don't. They really start off around 30 and they work up to 50 with bonuses based on production, et cetera, et cetera. I said, okay. All right. I said, so you've not been hiring people because you're concerned that it will cost you the company. Your company could go broke, right? He said, yes. He goes, $50,000, it's a lot of money. Absolutely, it's a lot of money. So let's go back. Let me just backtrack for a little bit because I want to be clear on what I'm hearing you tell me. And I'm going to ask a few clarifying questions. Is that fair? Absolutely, that's fair. It's okay. So here's the question. If you start them off at 30 grand a year and you'll know within a week whether or not they will be a fit for the company, basically you're gambling a $200 to $250,000 plus for your top line sales on $600 because you'll know within 1 week, and 30 grand divided by 50 weeks is $600. And he looked at me as if, are you shitting me? And I said, I reached into my pocket and I pulled out my stack of cash. I go, do you need me to loan you the $600? And you could see the lights go on in his eyes. He got it, right? He absolutely got it. And at the time he had 7 employees. Today he has almost 40. And he still talks about, I remember when that son of a gun wanted to loan me $600. He goes, I still think about that every time I'm interviewing. And that's why his company is doing so well today. But that was his mental block. He was stuck on thinking that he was going to have to spend the entire $50,000 to find out whether or not the person would actually fit in the company. And the truth of it is you break it down into what's real. The reality is he would know it's a $600 gamble. I don't know about you, but I'll tell you right now, I'll gamble $600 every week to find the person that'll make me $250,000.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
absolutely. Okay. And so
there's a huge gamble, huge mental block.
Yeah, I get that he has more employees now, but what was the difference in his bottom line revenue?
First of all, that's proprietary. I won't talk about that, but I will say that his business is well over $6 million today. So he's more than 10x his top line sales. His bottom line sales have just gone through the roof because once you cover your overhead, the majority of what you make after that is, what's that word? That 6-letter word I love? Profit. Yeah. Profit. Yeah. So he's loving some good profits these days. His company's doing really, really honestly. So the next one
is a subconscious block. And some people might call this an emotional block, but it's something that this is the most difficult one for most people to become aware of. And to even think that I got nothing wrong with me. I don't have any subconscious blocks.
I don't know what you're even talking about.
Emotional problems. I'm not emotional. And I'm not talking about being emotional. I'm saying that there are sometimes that we have a fear that blocks us, or we have anger that blocks us, or we have something that happened in our past, something that may be an outright actual PTSD causing issue, that something happened, a problem, that something happened, and now as a result, you can't go there. Or it's something that happened in childhood and you don't even remember. Or maybe you do remember and you just don't know how to get past it.
So there's a book out there. It's called A Dose of Hope by Dr. Dan Engel. And in that book, Dr. Dan says that 70%, 70% of us here in America have unresolved trauma in their body. Now, it doesn't mean trauma is a blunt instrument you were hit in the head, or trauma from an automobile accident, although those are possibilities, right? Trauma can be as something as simple as one client we were working with spent his entire adult life in federal or state penitentiaries because He made a conscious decision when he was 2.5 years old. His dad came home from work, and this man, this boy, this child, wanted his dad to give him a piggyback ride. And dad was too tired, too hungry. He didn't have his transition time. And he told the boy no. And that 2.5-year-old boy made up his mind at that moment to make his dad pay. I'm going to make you pay for not giving me a piggy ride. And so he has punished his dad his entire life after 2.5 years of age because of a piggyback ride. I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm just telling you what we see on a regular basis. Most of it makes sense. Some of it, you scratch your head and go, wow, how is that even remotely possible? But these things are blocks. These things can, will, and do prevent you from being successful. And if 70% of us have such trauma, people that know me understand that I had a traumatic thing happen to me when I was 4.5 years of age. And I used to say, I got 60-year-old hardware. My body at the time was 60 years old and it was being run by 4.5-year-old software. The trauma that happened to me occurred when I was 4.5 years old. And that put the filter on how I looked and reacted to everything in my life. Everything was filtered by that traumatic event that happened when I was 4.5. So until I got clear, until I resolved that problem, until I resolved that trauma, everything was a struggle. Everything was difficult. And today, I can honestly say 5 years later, man, I have zero issues and my life is amazingly different. My life is so incredibly different that it's almost hard to believe it's the same person. But again, this was a subconscious block that was preventing me from having the uber success that I've been able to enjoy, and more importantly, from appreciating and enjoying the success that I had created. Okay. So we understand, I really understand the three different types of blocks that we are familiar with, and we are able and honored to help you.
So once again, if you're interested in clearing the subconscious blocks, the things that it's like, that you should be doing better by now, but you're not. And so perhaps reading A Dose of Hope by Dr. Dan Engel will be a huge help. I know that for me, Jerry remembers the incidents, some of it that happened with him that caused him to have a mental block, I should say a subconscious block, and to help him to remove that and remove the anger that he felt because he had been angry since he was a child. For me, it was about fear. There was a lot that I feared, and a lot of it had to do with my childhood. And so I encourage you to look at the things that, so if you're not as far along as you want to be, consider the possibility that there is a subconscious block. What else do you want to say about blockages? And make sure that you reach out to us. If you decide, hey, listen, you know what, that book was amazing, reach out to us.
And we can coach you through a number of things.
Yeah.
It's an incredible phenomenon that occurs when you get clear. Your life will radically and drastically change. I don't want to get very specific on a podcast. There's lots of things I want to say, and I just don't feel comfortable talking about it here. If you're interested, we can set up a Zoom call, or we can set up another forum. Come visit us, right? Come visit.
And the reason why is because everyone is so individual. You are an individual. Your fingerprint is different than anyone else's. And so we can't make broad generalizations because you're different than everyone else.
I'm totally different.
And I'm totally different. And because of that, it's tough to talk about subconscious blocks because everyone is so different. There's no way that we can make a tailored program for everyone fitting into that program. It's not going to happen.
No, it's that program is very specific to you.
The hard truth is a lot of people have a subconscious block and they don't realize it. They don't realize it, or they may kind of know that there's something going on, but they don't want to admit it.
Or they don't know how. They don't know how to fix it. They don't know how to deal with it. And honestly, opening that Pandora's box terrifies them.
Asking for help could be a hard thing. We're trying to make it easy for you. So just reach out for help. Reaching out for help does not need to be hard, does not need to be difficult. No judgment at all. We've helped people who've had affairs. We've helped people that have been raped. We've helped people that have had alcohol issues. We've helped people that had money issues.
Gambling issues,
Gambling.
sex addictions. Oh boy, it's been an amazing process.
Not that we are therapists. I just want to let you know that we will help point you in the right direction and help clear whatever it is that might be stopping you in your success. And success is not just money. Success is your confidence. It's your self-worth. It's who you are. It's not just what you do, your identity.
Sex and success is liking the person that's looking back at you in the mirror.
Yeah.
Success is being able to sleep good at night.
Yeah.
Success is loving the person that you've grown to become. That's quite successful. A lot of people cannot do any of those. And we want you to do all of those.
So we end every episode with a question. And the question that we're asking you is, are there any possibilities of a blockage that you can get rid of so that you can be the person that you were meant to be?
Easier words, what's blocking you? Write it down. Send it to us.
And USA.com. I'm Dr. Laura Schwaller.
I'm Jerry Kazaya, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Grow and get answers to your business and investment questions that provide clarity, move you forward, and inspire you to reach your goals. Share the show and connect with us at bbmmusa.com to submit questions and learn more. That's bbmmusa.com.